Patriots make another big move in the form of Mike Onwenu returning to this team for 2024 and beyond. This is a fantastic move by Eliot Wolf in this Patriots front office. It came in as a 3-year deal up to $57 million, $38 million guaranteed, which practically, if you can do the math, is about $19 million a season. I'm actually surprised he got this much, but when you looked at what other people got in free agency at that tackle and guard spot, it looked like Onwenu was in line for a big payday, but the Patriots don't break the bank to re-sign Mike Onwenu. We will talk more in depth about this move and what it means for New England going forward in free agency. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are going to cover New England all offseason long leading up to the draft, the rest of free agency, and then in the 2024 season as well. We had the Antonio Gibson video earlier today. We got the Onwenu one, and when the Patriots signed Calvin Ridley, because I'm speaking into existence, we'll have that one too, so join the channel. All right, let's look back at Onwenu now, because after some other moves in free agency, I was skeptical of Onwenu returning. Why? Well, Robert Hunt, the guard for the Miami Dolphins, yes, a guard, not a tackle, signed a 5-year, $100 million deal with the Carolina Panthers. Panthers were very desperate to upgrade that O-line to help protect Bryce Young in his second year. But when I saw $20 million over 5 years for Robert Hunt, I was like, well, he was pretty good, but like Onwenu's a little bit younger. He's kind of on that same tier in my opinion. Is he going to try to get a 4+ year deal at $20 million annually? Well, that's not the case. It's only 3 for 19 for Big Mike. And he was pretty solid in 2023 when he was playing for the New England Patriots. And the part that I like about Mike Onwenu, and I'm glad he returned, which we'll talk about more in depth, is his versatility. He has played all over the offensive line in his career. Never left tackle, but he's played right guard. He's played guard in his for his entire career, switched out to right tackle. Trent Brown actually hopped on, ironically enough, his Sirius XM, I think it was, and said he believes Mike Onwenu could play center if he really wanted to. That just shows how versatile he is to this Patriots team. And to me, I want to go more back to what Eliot Wolf and Jerod Mayo said earlier in this offseason. And we have echoed this sentiment to you guys on the channel because it truly is something that was important to them. It's important to me. It should be important to you. They want to keep the homegrown talent and the people in the building actually in the building. They don't want to have to go out in free agency and rely on bringing other people from other cultures, other backgrounds to reinvigorate this Patriots locker room. Let's build something in Foxborough and keep on increasing what we have here in the post-Belichick and Tom Brady regime. And what they have done so far: re-sign Hunter Henry, re-sign Kendrick Bourne. Now they brought back Mike Onwenu on a 3-year, $57 million deal. And they also tagged, in the transition tag, Kyle Duggar. They have made a point to keep the good players in New England with the Patriots. Mike Onwenu is another one that really sets up the Patriots to go forward in free agency because he is going to be slotted in to be your right guard, right tackle. I still probably think he will play right tackle for the Patriots. Slides back to right guard, I don't see that as an issue. It just means that you're going to have to draft an offensive tackle on top of signing another tackle in free agency because you've got Chukwuma Okorafor there battling at that right tackle spot. Maybe he's a backup swing tackle to Onwenu, or maybe he's going to be in line to start at right tackle, and they view Onwenu as a right guard to shore up that middle with David Andrews and Cole Strange, and then move Sidy Sow, who is solid down the stretch, as that backup interior offensive lineman. Nonetheless, I think this is a fantastic move for New England. It's a $38 million guaranteed contract. He is going to hit free agency once again when he turns 29 years old, so he's able to have another payday in that if he continues to play well, right? So he'll have another chance to make money, but he also keeps one here as well. I really like this move for the Patriots, and now they are set up to really attack the rest of free agency. What do I mean by that? Yes, they have spent quite a bit of money, but they've re-signed their own guys, which means now it's time to go out and get the other guys that can really come and impact this roster for 2024. More to talk about. We'll recap Antonio Gibson and talk about more free agency rumors ahead of day 2 and maybe even a special night signing as well. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. PrizePicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get a first deposit match up to $100. It's daily fantasy made easy, daily fantasy made fun, and the reason why it's awesome is because it changes on a daily basis. You can do combinations between more than on LeBron and Luka Doncic, more points. You can do demons and goblins, demons, higher stat projection, but a more payout for you. Or you could go goblins where it's a less stat per total, but a lower payout, low risk, low reward. You go high risk, high reward. Meek Mill, UFC champion Sugar Sean O'Malley play Prize Picks on a daily basis. So join them, join me over at prizepicks.com/CLNS. I make picks every single day. I've already said that, and here are my picks for tonight's NBA action. I'm taking them more than on Devin Vassell, 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. I also followed up with more than on Brandon Miller, 2.5 triples, as he has been phenomenal for the Charlotte Hornets in the past month and a half. 2-player projection, win up to 3 times my money with this little daily fantasy sports lineup here today. Get started today. Download the app in your app store. Code CLNS. Get a first deposit match up to $100. Or use code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS. That link is in the chat and description of today's video. Patriots made 2 moves today. Only 2. I thought it was going to be more active, but they were both impactful for this team. The other one, Antonio Gibson, the former Washington Commander, signing with the Patriots to be that change of pace back alongside Ramondre Stevenson. 3-year deal for the young man out of Washington. Former wide receiver at Memphis, by the way. 3-year, $11.25 million, 5.3 guaranteed, which I really like because you're paying for under $4 million annually for a running back that can do a lot for you. What do I mean by that? He is one of the most dynamic pass-catching running backs in all of football. And it should surprise no one considering, like I just mentioned, he played wide receiver at the collegiate level for Memphis. He's been one of the best pass catchers in football, and he came out of the gates blazing for the Commanders, or Washington at the time. They weren't the Commanders then. He had 795 rushing yards in his rookie season with 11 rushing touchdowns. Followed it up in year 2 with over 1,000 rushing yards and 250-plus receiving yards and 7 touchdowns through the ground, but 3 through the air. So this guy came out of the gates hot. Then they drafted Brian Robinson out of Alabama, and the projections and the numbers for Gibson just went down over the past 2 seasons. In the rushing department, they went down, but the receiving numbers went up. Antonio Gibson is also the 5th-graded pass protection running back, according to PFF, if you have more than 50 snaps. You know who was number 4, by the way? Ramondre Stevenson. So the Patriots, according to PFF, had 2 of the top 5 pass-protecting running backs in the entire NFL in 2023, which should only help your offense because it gives you the ability to have running back pick up a free blitzer if need be. Give that rookie quarterback that I anticipate the Patriots having with that 3rd overall pick more time to look downfield. But it's not the only thing they can do, right? They can still make some guys miss. Antonio Gibson actually was top 5 in the National Football League in yards after contact, 3.51. Antonio Gibson was really good for the Commanders in his first 4 seasons in the league after being a 3rd-round pick in 2020. Now joins Foxborough. Eliot Wolf talked about weaponizing this offense. It's not the craziest weapon in the world, but it is another weapon that Alex Van Pelt, the new offensive coordinator for the Patriots, can use to get this offense more explosive and overall better, because we know that is the reason why it's been such a struggle for the Patriots to win games over the past couple of years. Grade the signing of Antonio Gibson for me. A, B, C, D, or F. You know what? You can lump in Mike Onwenu as well. Gibson and Onwenu both signed with New England today. Onwenu returning, Gibson coming from Washington. Grade the first day of free agency thus far. Things could change. Tonight could be a Jacoby Brissett, a Kelvin Ridley, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But grade the Gibson and Onwenu signing for me down below. I would probably go with an A-. I think it was probably one of the biggest keys for the Patriots to bring back Mike Onwenu, because that shores up a big-time spot on that offensive line, and now it only looks out at potentially one hole left at the left tackle. Because hypothetically, you could keep Onwenu at right tackle, City Sauer right guard, Andrews at center, Strange at left guard, and then just figure out left tackle with the rest of free agency or in the draft. So that's a big key for me, and I like Gibson to work alongside Ramondre Stevenson, being one of the most athletic and best pass receiving backs as a tandem in the National Football League. Before we head out of here, I do want to mention some more rumors going into the nightcap of day one of free agency. A lot of people are talking about the wide receiver market, as they should. It's now the number one position of need for the New England Patriots outside of quarterback, which obviously won't be addressed in full during free agency. Calvin Ridley was a lot of talk with New England before things kicked off at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Absolutely no movement on that market. No rumors, nothing. It's still expected that the Patriots are at the top of that list of pursuing Calvin Ridley, but something could have been thrown in a wrench here in the form of T. Higgins. The Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver requested a trade an hour before the tampering period began in free agency. Now Eliot Wolf is faced with a decision. Do you sign Calvin Ridley and pursue him with all the cap space you have at just around $20 million per season, or do you trade pick number 34 to Cincinnati and extend T. Higgins there? T. Higgins would likely be about $2 or $3 million more per season in terms of expense. He'd probably get $23, $24, $25 million per year. Ridley maybe at that 20 mark, but he's also 4 years younger. Calvin Ridley, 29. T. Higgins, 25, 26 years old, has had a lot of success out of Clemson with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase over the last 4 seasons. And that's the biggest question Eliot Wolf has to face at the wide receiver position. Would you rather sign Calvin Ridley for $20 million, 29 years old, on a 3-year deal potentially, or would you rather get a younger wide receiver to have in more of a long-term future play with a 3rd overall pick at quarterback, but you have to trade 34 for that? That's a tough decision that he's going to have to make, and we'll have you covered with it. So make sure you hit that sub button, because whether the Patriots make a trade for T. Higgins, sign Calvin Ridley, or eventually sign Jacoby Brissett, which just feels like a waiting game at this point, we will have you covered. Join the channel. I'm Nic Rohloff. I'll see you on the next video, and hopefully the next video is Calvin Ridley joining the New England Patriots.